hello out there. How are we all doing today? You say good, I say great. Okay. So there are three things that I want to tell you about Medicare right now. And they are, Medicare is like a pop quiz on your first day back from a summer vacation. Everybody probably knows what that means and feels like. If you don't know what you don't know about Medicare, you can make mistakes that will stick with you forever. Medicare is not a DIY situation that you go to a YouTube video for. Mistakes do not leave your Medicare provider situation. Okay, so when you do a survey of Medicare beneficiaries, the things they always say was, God, I was scared. Geez, I'm anxious. God, I'm confused. Why is that? And that is because you have to make choices. So which do you choose? There are 5 parts. A, B, C, D, and Medigap. There are 10 plans. They are A through N. There are about 30 different Part Cs, depending on your zip code. There are 30 different Part Ds, depending on your zip code. Okay, so you have a limited amount of time to make a decision, and the decision you make today may cause that shot you put in your foot to cause for an amputation later. So what do? So here's what people do under this situation. They say, God, I'm going to research the hell out of this Medicare thing. Everything's solvable. I'm going to go to Medicare.gov, SSA.gov, and they're going to spend a lot of time looking at that. And they're very good websites. There's just a lot of stuff there, and it's kind of confusing. They're going to talk to their friends. But if the friends don't know what they didn't know and they don't know anymore now, that could be of limited value. They're also going to take in the material that's provided by the insurance companies who are a part of this whole process. Now, this is marketing material. So you know based on definitions that this is not objective. This is not designed to meet your needs, but it's designed to meet somebody's needs. Now, there are more facts than you can even deal with in terms of Medicare. But all the facts are not going to answer the primary question, which is, how do I get the best plan? This booklet that's available on my website, GaryMedPlan.com, has all the facts in it that you need to know. But it isn't going to answer the basic question. What's the best combination of these for you? So what is Medicare anyway? You're probably all wondering, well, it's this, but what is it? Well, it's the primary health care plan for people 65 and older who are not on an employer health care plan. You can stay employed till you're 90 on your employer plan. You don't need to deal with Medicare. Medicare is a part federal, part insurance program. You can't have a comprehensive program without both. Comprehensive means 100% coverage. You have a triple heart bypass, it's covered. You don't pay anything. So the question then is, okay, Medicare is interesting, but what's it going to cost? This is the color in the eyes of the beholder. So if you need to change this, feel free to do that. Okay, so what's it going to cost? Everybody has to have a foundation in Medicare. The foundation is Part A and B. The cost for Part A and B per month per person is $185. Unless you make too much money, and then it can be higher.
What's too much?
And if you're wondering what too much money is, it's in the book, along with all the other facts that you need to know, but won't answer the basic question is, how do you get the best plan? That isn't in a book, and you're not going to find it on a research project. The book is on my website at no cost to you. Okay, so this is the federal part, and it's 80%. Anybody feel like paying the 20% of a $500,000 heart operation? Any hands raised? No. So you want the other 20% covered.
Alive, hell yes.
It'll keep you impoverished, and that may not add to your life, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other 20% has to be from an insurance company. So there are two ways to do that. One of them is called Medigap, and one of them is called Medicare Advantage. The cost of these are as follows. Medigap at 65 will cost you $150 approximately, depending on your zip code. Medicare Advantage will cost you between $0 and $200 depending on your zip code.
So what happens if you move?
Then your zip code changes,
So you need to change your plan?
which means that your costs may change. That's one of those details that's in here. It doesn't change the basic problem, but it does give you an answer. Answers are good, but they don't solve the problem. That's kind of the point I'm trying to make to everybody. Somebody who researches and has a PhD in something comes to me and says, I'm a real smart person. I'm sure I can figure this out. And I tell them, I'm sure you're a really smart person, but I don't know if you want to spend the time to figure this out. And if you try and figure it out and you don't know what you don't know, then there could be a problem. So you probably need to talk to somebody with a little more depth about this than you have academically. I don't try and fix my car for obvious reasons. Okay, so we have the supplement. We have 100% covered here. So you can do Part A and the Medigap, and you'll have a comprehensive plan. You can do Part A and B and Medicare Advantage, and you'll have a comprehensive plan. Medicare also requires that you have a drug program, even if you don't take any drugs. If you don't take any drugs and you say to me, I don't take any drugs, I'm not paying because I hate drug companies, I will say to you, well, if things should ever change and you ever need drugs, you will be paying penalties in arrears at a higher rate going forward. Do you want to roll the dice there? They go, well, how much is it going to cost me? I go, depends on what you're taking. You say, I'm not taking anything. I go, how about $2 a month? Would you think that would offset the problems that you might have being penalized in perpetuity? And everybody says they would. So the drug plan has a premium. The premium goes from a few dollars to $200. Plus copay. So copay means you have a plan, you go to the pharmacy, you say, here's my card, and they say, that'll be $540. That's your copay. The copay depends on the drugs you're taking. So the reality here is if you add these numbers up, you're going to come up with total comprehensive coverage for Medicare somewhere around $300 plus something for a drug plan. The drug plans depends on what you're taking. I just talked to a lady whose premium is $160. That's pretty much the highest I've ever seen. But I have 2 pages of drugs that she's taking. They are not expensive drugs, but the combination of them means that the insurance companies are not going to cover most of them, and so the premium is higher depending upon generally the number and the cost of the drugs. There are drugs that nobody covers. And if you're wondering what do, get my booklet. Because that's a rabbit hole that will take more than 15 minutes to discuss. But there are ways to deal with that, but that is a harsh reality. Medicare does not cover all drugs. They cover most drugs. Okay, so the bottom line here is, what are you really going to do? And what you're really going to do, if you're actually 65 and looking for Medicare, at some point, tick, tick, you're going to do either what the hell, I'm going to do the best I can, DIY. Are you going to say DIY plus John looks like he knows what he's talking about, so I'm going to do what he did? Or you could hire a Medicare guide at no cost to you. And why would you do that? Because you don't know what you don't know, because you've not spent your life thinking about Medicare. In fact, you've never thought about it. You had a corporate plan that covered all your needs. All you had to do was punch in, and they told you what to do. So if you don't know what you don't know about Medicare, which most people don't, if you don't know what you don't know about what you need to know on an annual basis, which most people never think about, and if you don't know what you don't know about what you should do today and what you should do in 15 years, and that you can't make choices that change between the two of them only but once in the beginning, what do? You hire somebody who knows what you don't know, and I do. But I also know that there are people who know more than I do, and they're in my network, and I will ask them if somebody decides to flip this whole thing on its ass. Because I'm not going to know, you're not going to know, but together we can figure this out. So we need to have the talk, the Medicare talk. We need to be sure that you know what you need to know, but to know that the facts aren't going to solve your problem. You need to know that somebody will be there today, the end of the year, and in 10 years. You'll need to know that there's a network of people who won't know what you don't know, but we will figure it out together. Website, GaryMedPlan.com. Call me, we'll have the talk. Peace out.